and has a long walk back.
You can see that both the junglers and the supports are kind of hanging around that mid lane because Chovy's creating so much action. And again, he's setting the tempo. He is setting the pace of this game, and he's saying, I'm going to control it on this Yone. He's like, yeah, melee into range, doesn't matter. I'm playing Yone, it's OP. I'm going to win the trades. I'm going to have my team there to support me so I can continue to put on that pressure and essentially just do whatever I want is what Chovy is saying. Yeah. We're having a swap back here. It looks like Queen's going to TP bot.
Looks like they're going to maintain that lane into the Quinn Sante here. The teleports will be traded. In fact, actually, Flandre, I was looking at this thinking he was going to just TP back in, but the wave state on the top side means he doesn't have to, so he's actually going to maintain teleport advantage over Quinn, who had to go down there and catch that wave as it was being pushed in very quickly. There's he barely gets the back off top side there with that wave and goes straight to the bottom lane. Hope and Kyle will go down and match him. But yeah, like you guys have been talking about, this Chovy lane pressure that's been generated is exactly what you want to see. Gives you hope that this Yone is going to hit the mark in these upcoming team fights. Speaking of, they were a ways away from one right now with no dragon control really to either team, and the Grubs aren't spawning for another minute 30 as team level 6.
Yeah, he just takes a beating, and he's just kind of okay. I guess the negative pump cloak helping more than I think it had any right to at that point in time. He's still retaining a decent CS advantage as well, as we've seen that combo before. This time he's going to be able to eliminate it, as that's an all-out. This is 1v2, Keen. What are we doing? This guy's absolutely insane, but he's getting away with it, absolutely. He'll be able to dash away. Deadly Flourish is going to slow him down, but I don't know whether you'd want to stop him from leaving, Hope. It was looking dicey.
Yeah, I just feel like that's why I was talking about earlier, the reasons why you would swap. I feel like it's actually a better situation for Gen G because Flandre's having a lot of trouble into the Rakan and the Varus with unlimited sustain and the insane damage from the Varus, but the Jhin and the Alistar don't do anything to Cassante.
They can't stop him, and we've seen Cassante be one of the best lane swap absorb champions, even before lane swaps were massively nerfed, but we just get them at level 1. This was Keen's life for like a year, right? And he's winning it this time. He's got so much practice with this, and without Varus with a dirt in hand here, they're just going to smash Flandre there on the top side. The sustain you mentioned from those Rakan Qs is going to come through, and so they get to steal some of the jungle away, set up some of those deep wards there on the top side of the map, but Gen G control both sides of the map right now. Feels fantastic as Grubs have spawned.
Yeah, Canyon looking to try and contest this. Full vision available to AL. Canyon walking on forward. Should be able to watch this first one go down. See whether that's all AL can get, although they are still in this pit. 4 versus 3. For the moment, Ruler is moving over there. Flandre, level 7, does have Equalizer at the ready. This is a dangerous fight for Gen G to take. As Ruler throws out the ulti, it's going to be met with Tarzan's flash. And really speed ran the curtains there. They were closed, and then they were opened, and then they were closed again pretty immediately.
Yeah, not the greatest fight setup there for AL. It's really desperate, but I think after Tarzan flashes, you know you're going to have to give at least 2/3 here to the Grubs, and taking a fight follow-up after that is just not going to be possible.
You were talking about this in the draft, Wolf, just getting over Varus essentially in trade for a Xayah ban. You're like, okay, we want to ban Xayah, we'll give you Varus. But Ruler, with his Varus, it feels like he's run the lane, and obviously Chovy's done a really good job in mid as well. So now they can just kind of roam the map as a 4-man unit and take whatever objective they want. Like, Hope playing this Jhin right now has 0 impact compared to the Varus in these team fights. And yeah, he was just being bullied essentially by Chovy and Duro, who weren't allowing him to do anything. So Gen G get 2 Grubs, and they get the first raid, so off to a great start there.
Yeah, it's just the objective control that is so necessary for this Gen G comp that they are very strongly holding tightly onto in this early game, just through lane pressure alone. As Duro is on this controller here lurking, I don't think he'll find any opportunities, but does hit level 6 here. Wow. He does get some deep vision on Tarzan's pathing, and that's going to be the end of that, but it's going to actively all the way around.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little, I'm like, what's his plan?
He just wants to get as much information as possible. They do kill his wall immediately, though. As the lane assignments are kind of interesting. Chovy now laning up against Flandre towards that top side. As Equalizer was actually invested just a little while ago. Not entirely sure. I think it was probably just to eliminate a minion wave. As Duro is following Tarzan here towards the top lane. Chovy says hello to his former jungler from Griffin and does do a whole lot of damage to that soul. Flandre was just unable to really help out. So it's just a sacrifice of 50% of Tarzan's health buff. He actually has to contribute to get that health back.
The Keen having this rumble works into the Azir as well. So he's actually just sitting here chilling going, well, I've got all this MR. It's hard for you to put a dent into me, so I can continue to trade with you. And Chovy is also just happy to trade into Flandre here because he can snap back when the Flame Trigger comes out, when Silence comes through, and just avoid that damage and take these aggressive trades. We're going to see that TP here from Shanks now as they try to swap away from him. They'll be able to catch the wave, but Genji have had so much vision on the top side of the map. Like, Duro can make those plays where he's just surfing through the jungle and dropping wards everywhere because he can see literally everything. There is no risk whatsoever to what he's doing. And Genji, look at the wards they have all over the map. Like, so many.
It's insane. It's just a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's not the first time Genji have done this. I think there's a reason why their macro game is considered the best in the world. As Duro in a little bit of trouble here, he's got a lot of players on.
The combo is Hope throwing down these bullets. Not quite going to land any, but they didn't need them because Tarzan
我從頭到尾都未 A 過他，我已經拿頭。
And that's first blood. Kind of insane that it is 11.5 minutes into the game, and I feel like there's been a lot of stuff that's happened, but that is the first kill that we've actually had.
It feels like a caster, Chris, but I feel like it's almost also this sort of caster explanation again, because he had so much vision top side, he can make those plays, right? He can be anywhere he wants. On the bottom side, not so much. They find him, they kill him, he's trying to get wards on both sides of the map, and he's punished.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I feel like Duro, sometimes on Rakan, you can feel immortal, right? Because your amount of mobility that you have is just insane, right? You can hop to allies, but he was alone, so he couldn't hop to allies. He used his W, and then he just got caught by the pillar, so you're just kind of out of options at that point. So Duro, you know, still very much a newer player compared to at least his teammates, and maybe a little bit of a rookie mistake there. Got to be careful about that. Still a very close game at this point, though.
Yeah, and I think holding onto the flash, an interesting choice there as well. Not a whole lot to fight for right now, but a fight around the Herald, something like that, somewhere that a Rakan can get a whole lot of value in. So we're going to check this out one more time. Yeah, the Deadly Flourish placement just glorious there from Hope, even if the bullets didn't necessarily land. It didn't matter.
He is able to deny the kill onto the Jin. That move was pretty good there, so it's still significant. That doesn't go over the Hope. That's definitely what they would have rather had. It goes over to a Trundle, still valuable, but that was well played by Duro. I think that's why he missed the ult there. We'll be back up for the objective. Doesn't commit his flash, though. Knows that extra movement should be enough.
Yeah, and sometimes in tournaments, some players just, they have this ability to just, they're like a magnet. Like, all the kills go towards them, and it feels like Tarzan is always in the right place at the right time. And then Flandre have been the big names from this team that we were mentioning over and over.
这两个都他妈都隐身，我虚弱都不知道。
He's the core of this team, and you know, it's a little thing. It's just one kill onto a Rakan, but again, it's like this Trundle. You get that little bit of a fear in you that the Trundle's going to get super fed once again.
Yeah, and Kane's like, stop being the Trundle, man.
不，那个鱼会跳起来，然后阿卡丽会隐身，我根本就不知道他们呢。
And if this subjugate gets too scary, then it's going to become a little bit of a problem. As Chovy here towards the bottom side of the map with Flandre, continuing to do so. Shadowing Shanks, make sure that he can get this crash. Might even be able to get another plate.
Trading plates looks like here is to see where Canyon is on the map right now. With 10 seconds to go, Dragon has stable position of Genji here. Diving, this is going to be so tricky into a Cassante. Flandre's just going to equalize here, but that should be a free Dragon. Let's see if King can survive, because Subjugate will come through. But he's still Cassante, he's still got flash.
Yeah, let's see whether Showmaker's going to be talking about this one. 3 versus 1 is dangerous. He gets the all out, and he uses that to leave. Unfortunately, he brought Tarzan with him, and that guy is real scary and can put pillars up that wreck your day, and that is exactly what happens.
Maybe, though, the double-in principle of, like, you lose somebody, you get the Dragon in return, feels good. But if they get that whole turret with his Nashor's Tooth Seer, I think that might be a price that's a little bit too big to pay here for Genji.
Yeah, a bit of an issue. I think he pulled the Trundle over, so that was definitely a bit of a issue. I mean, they were kind of stacked on each other. But yeah, there's that first turret going down that we were talking about, Wolf. They're just going to get it essentially for free after that kill. So surging into the lead in terms of here is AGAL. It's not a gigantic lead, but also on the way. Gonna be feeling pretty good.
We're gonna check it out on from Tarzan's perspective as he takes the Cassante ride and just flashes after him and eats him. Look at these mechanics, guys. There it is.
I don't know if things would have been that different, but I think that the Trundle was probably to say the least in terms of the target he pulled over there. this attempt to escape. But with the turret going over and with 2 kills to 0, even though Genji have gotten all the objective feats of strength, it's just 1 kill now for feats of strength to go over to AL. So another significant factor that comes with hitting that turret. So 2 Dragon lead here for the Genji. It's a Mountain Soul for their Desante, so you're still feeling pretty good about that. We'll see though if it ends up being a lot of gold ejected.
高清是个宝。
Toby again, just kind of doing whatever he wants in this game. He hasn't been part of any of the action because there hasn't been a whole lot, but it does feel like whenever we're looking at him, he is doing a good job of bullying his lane opponent. But he's still 200 gold behind Shanks, who did pick up the kill. So,
对面直接全部突在脸上，完全很
你能被阿卡丽的一挂到这个鱼熬
Looking
到，
pretty scary there as Tarzan once again.
那你全招吃了，那谁能救你？
Soul department does have to go back to the soul. I think that's
不是啊，我原本一可以帮你踹，结果你身上挂着一个那个大鱼，我都不想踹。
哎，
not going to be too worried
结果
about
这把输嘞。
And here on the bottom side, Shanks continuing to push.
很明显啊，有人拿到 OP 的角色，
AJAL
对啊，谁的问题？
to boot. Oh, that was not the pun that I was looking for. Take it away, Will. I think I need to
我感觉这个，我感觉这个扣格魔不太会玩。
在攻速这么高。
就
他应该站着 A 就好了，他应该就不要走 A 了，完全没必要。
Herald will just be used here to try to secure this mid turret with the Varus wave clear that Ruler can provide. See if AL will be able to defend. They don't have equalizers, so I think this is just going to be Genji getting a turret return.
Well, there it is. Not going to be first turn or anything like that. Oh, the turret still there. The killer is going to annoy Shelly, and she just decides she doesn't want to crash.
这么远的雪球也知道，那我
Yeah, beautifully done.
But it was all a distraction, guys. They used it in mid, and look at where Canyon is. He's the guy who dropped it. He's in top. He's like, okay, I'm getting my vision. I'm making sure that Toby can push the top lane and get that turret by himself. So although, as I say that, this looks like Toby's trying to join in here onto this fight.
Oh, there's an exhaust immediately here as the charm comes down. Chains of corruption. They
输了。
kill Tarzan, and guess what? They're going to do it. That's 1 kill to end.
爽了没？徐佑琪吃爽了没啊？
Getting the feats beforehand. Actually, kind of interesting race towards our feats of strength in this game as Chovy